Welcome to Art Estate. I'm Nicole Romanoff, and today I'm sitting down with New York-based wedding photographer Nicole Plett.
Anyone who maybe feels the urge to go and do something on your own that's outside of your comfort zone, I think it can be so wonderful for growth, but especially artistic growth.
Nicole has built an international career defined by intention, curiosity, and courage. She's known for her analog, documentary approach, capturing weddings with soul, imperfection, and honesty. In this episode, Nicole shares how living and working in New York has shaped her artistry and perspective, what travel has taught her about creative growth, and why she believes in creating for joy, not just productivity. It's a grounded, thoughtful conversation about creativity, courage, and the quiet power of following your artistic instincts. So if you're ready, let's jump right into my conversation with Nicole Plett. I'm curious, we're going to maybe start here. What is a day in the life of Nicole living in New York these days?
Oh, goodness. That is a great question. I mean, to be honest, Nicole, so many of my projects and commissions that I've been doing have been outside of New York. So we have been traveling a lot. I feel like I'm kind of just getting my footing back into New York. But I guess we're coming up on 2 years living here now, which is cool.
Wow. 2 years
But
it's been.
yeah, it's fun. It's really, but again, because work has taken me away from New York a lot, it doesn't necessarily feel like 2 years. But yes, it's really cool. Okay, a day in a life. Oh my goodness. Great question.
So curious.
I love waking up and making coffee and then having a little breakfast and then a second coffee.
Yeah. Gotta have that
Um,
second coffee.
Gotta have the second coffee. But second coffee, I kind of hate my phone right now. I feel like a lot of people can relate to this feeling of phones being very anxiety inducing and just not helpful in the creative process or just setting yourself up for a great day. So I've been leaving my phone at home, and there's a really awesome coffee shop that I like going to, and I've been working on morning pages there or reading a book.
Nice.
And right now I'm reading Just Kids by Patti Smith. A photographer friend sent it to me actually via Amazon last week.
Yeah.
Because we were shooting at Hotel Chelsea, which is this incredible hotel in New York, and Patti Smith writes all about her experience living there. So it was really fun
Yeah.
to read
Is she
that
the
book.
musician? Am I thinking of the right person? Patti Smith.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
Okay.
she's a musician. Honestly, I actually know so little about her, and I'm only halfway through the book, but it's fun to
Okay.
read her story because, um, I mean, she's much more courageous than I am. Yes, we whatever moved from Canada and came here, but
Yeah.
she was 19 years old and just got on a bus in the 60s and went and slept in the park until she could find a job. So, I
Wow.
mean, that's
That's
pretty awesome
wild.
just to
Yeah.
pursue the arts. So
Yes.
that's very cool to read about. But yeah.
Yeah, that is cool.
Um, and then the day. I have a little home office here. Sometimes I go to a co-working space, and just work. I feel like so much of what I do is very administrative based,
Yeah.
and not necessarily active out there shooting. But
Right.
when we're not traveling, I'm here right where I'm talking to you guys,
Amazing. Yeah.
and just doing the admin side of things. So editing emails, keeping things organized.
Yes.
But yeah.
I totally get that whole admin side, by the way. So last week I had a few days open where I was like, okay, I am going to crush this to-do list of all these edits that I need to do.
Yeah.
I'm going to work on these presentations that I have coming up. But then my phone was going off. I had all these emails come in. I was doing all these proposals, getting all this, as you said, admin done. And I was like, oh my God, my day is gone. It just gets swallowed up by that, you know? I don't know if
Yeah,
it's like that for you
absolutely.
or if you find it more.
Yeah, honestly, I feel like it's been pretty heavy on the admin lately for me. I feel like as we continue to take on like various complex projects, the admin side wait, like it grows.
Yeah,
Just with coordinating, multi-day projects and when travel's involved, that those elements add up and it's a lot of, like I do weddings, so it's a lot of back and forth
yeah,
with planners as like a primary contact for us. So anyways, all that to say, I actually don't hate the admin. I do find some joy in it. Um but it's obviously really nice when you actually get to like be with real life people and you big
totally.
picture.
Yeah. I was thinking about this earlier today before our chat, and I was thinking back to, I think when I first met you, you were like 19 years old,
Oh,
which I
so
know you're
little.
not. How old are you now?
I'm 28.
28?
Yeah.
Wow.
Wait, have we
Okay.
known each
So that
other for
was
that long?
9 years
That's
ago?
precious. Oh.
Yeah. That's wild. Actually,
That's
I
awesome.
think I have a photo of us that we took. We went for like coffee and like we snapped a
Aw.
photo. So I'll have to find that and I'll share it in
Wait,
this
that's so cute.
podcast too.
I
Yeah.
love it.
I've just always been so impressed by like your bravery, like how you've been able to just travel the world a lot by yourself, right?
Yeah, true, I guess. Yeah.
Yeah. And then,
Oh, thank you.
even moving to New York, you know, hometown girl from Saskatoon originally, like that's a big move and that takes a lot
Mm,
of guts. And so I just think like, wow, I feel like I respect you so much and I look up to you as a photographer and
oh,
as like, well, so much more than that. But I'm so curious what life was like for you growing up. Like were you always this kind of creative child? Like what
mm,
was Nicole like in say like grade
yeah.
2?
That's a good question. Oh my goodness. I don't even I'm not sure if I know exactly what I was like, as far back as grade 2,
Yeah.
but I do know that a few things have been true about who I am or what I was like growing up, and in that, I've definitely always been more on the quiet, introspective side and a really deep thinker and very analytical of the world and the spaces around me. And I was always really drawn to expressing myself through visual mediums. So
Mm,
I was, I grew up like drawing a lot and like always carrying a sketchbook with me and sketching and drawing and then when I discovered photography, I was, like, pretty young. I was maybe, like, 12 or so when I got a camera, and that was, like, a great way for me to connect with the world around me and express myself visually because it was, like, a tool I discovered that allowed me to, also, create with other humans,
mhm,
but via, like, a project or a vision or being, in my quietness and my introspective world to be like, "Oh, well, now I have this camera and I have this idea for what I wanna make with this camera, and I need
mm,
to, like, bring another human into this." And that's, like, really cool and exciting, and, yeah, I don't know. So, I guess I've always kind of been, like, really in my head or, like, living in a world up here,
mhm.
but allowing myself to take pieces of that world and, like, put it into these, like, visual mediums and these, like, visual
Yeah,
tools. But,
that's interesting.
yeah,
And so you felt like your tool that you connected with the most has been the camera, would you say?
definitely. Yeah, for sure. I love like, I loved art and I loved drawing and I loved fashion, and I remember when I was quite young, I was always doing, like, fashion sketches because I thought I would be a fashion designer.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then that pivoted once I discovered photography, I was like, "Oh, well, I wanna go live in New York, and I wanna be a fashion photographer, and
Mm,
that's what I thought I really wanted to do for a while. Um, and then it wasn't until I kind of stepped into the world of weddings and discovered that, and then
mhm,
later on, started that quite young, and then later on discovered, "Oh, hey, there's actually a space for me to, um, rediscover this world and
mm,
maybe even kind of re-enter it in as a older individual and more of an adult and a certain kind of things that I've taken from life experience and be like, okay, I want to like re-enter into this world of weddings and such with this new perspective that's kind of come from the past 2 years of like living life and yeah.
Was travel always like a big part of your life
Mm.
growing up too? Or was that just something you dreamed of?
Yeah, I think travel for me always felt like a really big draw and a big priority, and, like, since I can remember, I think I was just always very eager at the opportunity to travel and
Yeah.
mostly due to just I was really hungry for different experiences and learning about people and places that were different than my own, and,
Mhm.
I mean, I love where I'm from, my family's there, it's an incredible place, but I think so many people can relate to wanting to go and experience other things and seeing other things and kind of draw that in, especially as, like, a very, like, yeah, deep introspective thinker. I think when I find myself in new countries or new experiences, it just, like, feeds me and gives me
Yeah.
life and, um, also gives me the opportunity to kind of, like, I don't know, like, romanticize things. Like, I love the feeling of just being in a new city and being lost, like, at night, and the city lights are around you, and there's like, no one around you knows who you are and you don't know them, and, I mean, I suppose
Yeah.
that could be, like, a scary, intimidating feeling, but that is a feeling that really, creates awe in me and awe
Yeah.
for, the feeling of just being alive, and so I
Yeah.
think that's, like, a constant thing I'm chasing with wanting to travel and go, yeah.
Was there a trip that you felt like really shaped you or kind of changed your way of thinking? What can you think back to maybe a
Mm.
country that you visited or a trip that you made?
Yeah, that's a really good question. So I don't know how many years ago it was now, but I really felt this draw to just take off for a couple months and go to Japan. I just had never really spent
Mm,
any time in Asia before, and yeah, so I went to Japan by myself for a little bit, and that was so cool because
yeah.
it really pushed me to a
Japan's the
place.
best.
Yeah, I love. Oh my goodness. I love Japan, yeah. Um, that was like just a really great, solo travel experience where, I got to step away from kind of the work or the business I had built in this young age and kind of take a step away and, not know anybody and have to kind
Mhm.
of ask myself, like, well, really, who am I in this context of no one knows me and I don't know anybody and I don't speak this language and I don't know anything about this country. Um, and I think when you have to like um, learn this new environment and learn who you are within that new environment. It just, for me, it caused like some kind of inner reflection that was really um, beautiful and wonderful and a discovery of whatever artistic interests
Mm,
and aesthetics in a new way. Um, yeah, I think that was great. It's also just I think anyone who maybe feels the urge to go and do something on your own that's outside of your comfort zone, no matter the amount of time or anything, I think it can be so wonderful,
mhm,
um, for growth, but especially artistic growth if you're
mm.
creatively inclined, to just, like, see so many new things around you, meet so many people that are outside of your regular day to day, I think it just, like, fuels me.
Totally. And even different places have different energy.
Mhm.
I'm thinking back to when in the summer I was in LA And when I got off the plane in Calgary, I was like, whoa, the energy here is so different. And
Yeah.
you must feel that too when you land in back in Canada. I think the energy between the two countries is totally different. And I find like I very
Mhm.
much crave both. Like I love that
Mhm.
busy like energy of a big city, and then arriving back in Canada is like, oh,
Mhm.
okay, I can like just chill out for a while. I feel like Toronto is maybe not so much the same as it is like out west in Canada. Um, but I guess my point being like
Mhm.
the different energies in each city kind of either can fuel you in both ways. Like they can um fuel you energetically and like creatively, or maybe fuel
Mhm.
you with like rest and just like
Mhm.
relaxation too.
Yeah. No, absolutely. I definitely feel you with that. I mean, a reason why I love New York and we're out here is, I mean, it's a city to hustle in, and the
Mhm.
energy of the city is addictive, and you get drawn into that energy, and you are surrounded by people that are operating in that constantly, and that pushes you to
Yeah.
kind of
Yeah.
like operate at your peak capacity, or,
Totally. You have
pulls
to
you up. Yeah.
sink or
And
swim,
it's,
right? Like you
yeah,
have to keep up
totally.
with the fish.
Yeah. Um, yeah. And I think that's so fun, and that's so special, and I really feel like it's a gift to get to exist and, like, do day-to-day life in that environment, because it does push you, and
Mhm.
I love that. But, we were back in Canada this summer, and it always takes us, like, when I'm traveling or, like, going back and forth between New York and Canada, it takes me a few days or even, like, a week to kind of acclimate to, like, each, like, country and place. So even getting back to Canada, I'm like, "Okay, like, take a deep breath.
Yeah. Yeah.
Relax." It's very grounding there. It's very, like,
Yeah.
um,
Slower
you can slow
paced.
your pace, you can
Yeah.
kind of think through things in life differently. All their family is there, so that's also very grounding. And then once I get back to New York, I'm like, just like holding on, like trying
Yeah.
to trying to like keep up with the pace of like instantly being back here and surrounded by people that are like also in that kind of
Yeah.
like,
Hustle.
hustle
Mhm.
energy. But again, I mean, I completely like, I love it. I love the energy here, but, 1000% can see the value in, like, spending time in different places, and absorbing and taking the energy of each place and how that
Yeah.
adds to, like, your creative expression and experience. But yeah.
Exactly. Yeah. Did you have a mentor? Like how did you really get into photography? Like so it was something
Mm,
that you got your first camera at 12 and then you were just creating shoots already. And
yeah.
then how did it kind of blossom into this career, or like you deciding this is it for me?
Mm. Like, I did just start this career and doing photography professionally, I suppose, from a young age, and so there are a lot of people that came alongside me, and that we built community around this idea and this love for photography. And the reason I mean, I guess I got into photography when I was like literally 16 years old, was a friend who saw my little posts I would make on Facebook, my little iPad edited photos that
Yeah.
I'd post on Facebook, and they asked if I would come help out with some projects. But, like, more recently, since moving to New York and really kind of, uh, desiring to approach things from a different perspective, I feel very grateful for people I've met here that have become mentor-like relationships,
Mm,
um, and that I'm able to shoot alongside and learn from, or, you know, text a question and get, someone who's had, so many years of experience, and wisdom to share with me.
mhm.
So yeah, honestly, I think in the past few years of being here, I've realized just how important relationship is, especially when you are like self-employed or, running a business, and also intermingling a business with you are an artist and you have to
Mhm.
combine those two, like just how important mentorship is in that, and finding people that want to support you and are willing to share from mistakes or trials that they've gone through, and that how that uplifts you to be better at what you do. And
Mhm.
that's, I mean, again, going back to what I was talking about earlier, I mean, that's just a gift and an opportunity that I feel so grateful for with being in New York, because there are so many people that are like, I want to be like the best
Yeah.
artist, the best maker, the best blah 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 person I can be. And just being here, you kind of get like drawn into
Mhm.
that feeling in that environment, which is incredible. But yeah,
Is there someone, specifically that's really impacted you as an artist?
I think being in a city full of so much art and creators and artists, um, and utilizing the opportunity of being here and going to openings and
Mm.
going and viewing as much art as I can, and being very open-minded to just friendships with other people that are not necessarily in my field, but are also just out creating and making and have dreams and want to see their creative dreams come to fruition. That is very cool and that is very inspiring. And I think every Thursday we try to go to openings here
Mm.
and head into Manhattan and go see openings. And that is just incredible to like get to absorb the energy of these extremely talented artists, oftentimes, operating these very like insane gallery settings, and um, get to just learn from them by
Yeah.
absorbing and viewing and partaking in the art that they're choosing to share with the world. I think
Right.
that is highly influential for me, just to approach and look at things um, differently.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You just have to be so brave, to create so openly and from this, like, not to use the most overused word ever lately, authentic place. But, you know what I mean? And I feel like that's really, for me, I feel like that's really inspiring, like people just going after it and being okay to like put their heart out there and just create, you know, these really original pieces or coming up with like these ideas and going through the process, I think is really neat and like bringing it to fruition, which that's what the goal is, right? Of being an artist is like to create, but I guess to like put it out there. Um, you have to be brave. You have to like be willing to like go for it. And I find that that's really what's inspiring to me too, you know?
Yeah, for sure. I um feel like I am in this place of acknowledging that I truly feel like I'm half artist, half like goal-oriented, like business person, to be totally honest. But my
Mhm.
partner Devo is full artist.
Mhm.
And it's really, really, really cool and inspiring for me to get to live life alongside him and see how he approaches things, because he is constantly creating and making things um, just to express himself and express ideas with maybe no particular like certain goal of achieving XYZ. Whereas, I think sometimes for me, I just naturally am like goal oriented a little bit more so, or like I love like seeing the result of like of putting efforts into something. And not
Yeah.
that he doesn't, but he just has such a natural inclination to literally just express himself and let that just like flow. And I
Mhm.
think that takes so much more courage. And that is such an act of vulnerability, because you are constantly just like, I watch him constantly just like work at one small idea or concept for like weeks at a time, like carving something and making something just because he needs to see it like come into the world. And even if it's not like received well, or no one even like necessarily sees it, or he chooses not to share it with anybody, he just needs to see the concept come out.
Yeah.
Whereas I acknowledge that like my brain does not work that way, and that's okay because that's why there's different people in the world, and it's beautiful and it's a wonderful
Mhm.
thing. Whereas like want to work really hard on something, and I want to see it like I want to meet my goal, or I want to see like the end result come out that I was anticipating, you know?
Yeah. I feel
So
like
that's
I'm like
something that
that
I
too.
like. Yeah. Okay, cool.
Mhm.
You can relate to that. Yeah.
Yeah, 100%. When I think about myself too, I'm like kind of a little bit jealous of that other side because it's like, oh, I wish I
Mhm.
could just do that, but
No, totally. And I like to hop on what you're saying, I think I was down with that for sure. And I've been trying to kind of like honestly deprogram my brain from how maybe society has
mm,
told my brain to work, in the sense that um it's only worthwhile to do those things if you can, say, like, monetize it, or you can
mm,
turn it into some other facet of success for yourself.
right.
And I'm really trying to acknowledge that, well, I actually don't think that's how the world should work, and I don't think
Mhm,
that's how we were designed or created. I think we exist to create and to
mhm,
flow, and even if that's not successful, um, quote unquote successful for what we how we define success right now in like 2025. I think I need to be completely okay with that. Like if
mhm,
I want to make something beautiful, or if I want to just fiddle around with a little DIY project in my house just because it feels good to like make something and see something come into the world, I need to be okay with it not like leading to productivity or
yeah,
like monetization or like something that adds a foreseeable value to my life, and just acknowledge the fact that like, wow, that was such a beautiful thing for me to do for myself, that just made me feel lovely and
mm,
delighted in the day. To just, I don't know, like I made a little lamp in my in my house the other day because it was fun to just like
create.
play around with, yeah, just, like, do a random little
Yeah,
project because I could, and it was nice, and I liked the way it looks, and it made me, happy, you know? But,
totally. Yeah.
yeah, but I completely understand that everyone's brains works and operates differently, and for me, that's just something that I've noticed as a pattern in my life, where I would limit myself in creating something unless I could see it result in a certain thing.
Mhm,
And now I'm really trying to take a step back and be like, maybe I want to be a little bit more lean into just the joy of making and creating.
yes.
And if nothing comes from it, that's that's fine. It's not a waste of time or
Yeah.
efforts. But yeah.
I think that we would all benefit so much just from more play, you know?
Totally.
Like if we
Yeah,
even just
absolutely.
consider it like that. And if you think of, if you watch kids play, they're being creative in their own ways. And I think as adults, we kind of get
Mhm.
trapped in this mindset of like, oh, no, it has to, like you said, be productive. We have to work towards this goal.
Mhm.
And I think if we all just kind of thought about like, yeah, how can I incorporate like more acts of play into my life? And it doesn't,
Mhm.
we don't necessarily have to use that term, but just
Mhm.
like, how can I create freely with no um, kind of end goal or
Yeah.
necessarily purpose other than just me to just be and let something flow out of me,
Yeah.
that feels like
Yeah.
it needs to come out. Yeah.
For sure.
Um, like you work a lot. Have you ever experienced burnout?
Yeah.
Yeah. What was it
Yeah.
what was it like for you?
Um, it sucks.
Yeah.
I, um oh, man. Yeah. I think that I I'm really like, okay, to get vulnerable, I feel like I um put so much of my identity growing up into like how I could do the most and be the
Mm,
most and make the most of every opportunity I was given. And like, yeah, looping even back to what you were just saying about play and what
mhm.
I'm trying to express about finding delight in making and creating without a result. I think that that's something I want to lean into more in this big, beautiful journey of life
Yeah,
because of my past experience with burnout and acknowledging that obviously burnout is not healthy and it doesn't
no.
serve you and it doesn't serve the people around you in your life that care about you. Um, but yeah, I think saying yes for me is like a big addiction. Like I just want to say yes and do the most.
Yeah,
And it's can lead to, like, negative results. And,
100%.
something that I've been, like, learning and kind of meditating on recently that was brought to life or brought to light to me by someone close to me that loves me is, like, me saying yes or choosing to put myself in a position that could lead to burnout later on,
Mm,
um, it affects more than just me, you know?
mm,
It affects the people in my life that care about me, and have to kind of help me through that burnout process,
mhm.
and I've just been, acknowledging to myself that I need to say, no to things or maybe take things at a slower pace, not just for myself, but because I really, really love and care about the relationships and people
Mm,
in my life, and I want to have space and room to love them and give them my best as well because of the love that I have for them. And I think reframing things from that perspective, um, has helped me as I determine, like, what are healthy decisions for me to make in terms of workload or capacity or
yeah,
pushing myself to the limit, but yeah.
yeah. Have you read the book Essentialism?
No, I'm gonna write it down right now.
Yeah,
Essentialism.
that
Okay.
was a good one, and it basically talks about how we, like you said, we say yes all the time, and actually, if we say no, it opens us up for these, bigger opportunities, um,
Mm,
and just like frees up your life to do really more of what you love and what brings you joy.
mm,
And
yeah.
I thought that was a good book. I would read that again. It's like
Mm,
it's a huge, like, it's a very popular book. But I feel like it has a lot of valid lessons in it, especially
cool.
for really driven people,
Mm,
like
yeah,
yourself. Yeah.
cool. No, I'm gonna give it a read. Maybe that'll be
Yeah.
next on my list after I finish this Patti Smith book. But yeah,
Yeah.
thanks for
And I want
sharing.
to read
That sounds
that
really great.
one. We're going to do a
Yeah, it's
book
good.
club next,
A book
you and
club.
I.
Love it. Love it.
And so, Nicole, you do film as well, and
Yeah,
would you say you primarily shoot with film now, or is it quite a mix?
yeah. I would say film for me is the biggest kind of uh well, it would be my medium of choice right
Mhm.
now. Um, absolutely. But when I'm working with clients, something that I communicate and that I acknowledge is that there's limitations with film, which is why we feel a desire to still work with some I feel this desire to still work with, like, digital mediums and incorporate that
Yeah.
into workflow.
Hmm.
But yes, I love film, and I love its limitations,
Yeah.
and I think I was thinking about this yesterday, actually, or maybe a couple days ago, that there's something really great about limitations and having to work within limitations because it forces your brain to think about the situation more creatively.
Mm.
Um, and, like, for me, I work with, like, a lot of different cameras and tools and stuff, but, there's, like, maybe one camera that I, like, only ever leave, black and white film in there, and I never swap
Mm.
the lens out. It's always, like, 24. it's a like a wide angle lens, and I always have black and white film in it, and
Yeah.
I like the limitation of that camera because it forces me to like to see things
Mm.
through that way and like be
Mm-hmm.
like, okay, if I have to shoot it this way, how am I going to interpret what's in front of me through these limitations, but make it like a really creative, lovely storytelling image within those limitations. Um, yeah, I just think it's so helpful. I don't know. I absolutely love digital photography, but I think a reason that I don't feel inclined to it so much is that you could do anything with it. And
Yeah.
sometimes I don't want to have the option to do anything. I want to have to just um figure out the details and work within those constraints, and that does it for my brain to be able to like operate in a way that I feel like yeah, forces that creativity out a little bit more. But yeah.
So when you're shooting, if you have like all of your cameras, you have your digital camera and you have your film cameras, how do you know what to grab for? Like, is it some like a vision that you already kind of have
Mm,
in front of
yeah.
you?
Yeah. So I would say I am a photographer that maybe doesn't do too much pre-visualization heading
Mm-hmm.
into, I mean, in the context of wedding photography, I don't do
Yeah.
too much pre-visualization. I might have some ideas of what I want to see or what I want to create. But for the most part, I really want to come in just like with an open heart and open mind to what is gonna unfold
Mm-hmm.
and the characters that come into play on a wedding day and the texture and the color that comes into play. But also, I mean, I'm working with cameras that are quite analog,
Mm.
and I think when I pick up a camera, I like can visualize how it's going to translate through that specific camera.
Mm.
Um, and that's why I'm gonna pick that camera, you know? And I think deciding like which medium to use in that moment comes a lot from intuition and
Yeah.
trusting the intuition of like being in a certain situation and understanding the light,
Mm-hmm.
understanding the your model, the person in front of you,
Mm-hmm.
feeling like, okay, I want to tell this exact moment and this piece of the story in this way. I can see it. I need to grab the tool that's gonna
Mm.
create that story in that moment and tell it in the way um, that I want it to be told through my like artistic point of view or
Mm-hmm.
my vision.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but like I think deciding how you want that story to be told, that's like where the intuition piece comes into play. And also working within the limitations of your tools and your cameras, and then being able to be like, okay, well, I have this limitation on this one, but I can make it work to like see it captured and capture that essence in this way. I
Yeah.
apologize if I'm talking too like abstract.
No, no, it's good. And I was curious, would you say that when you do a shoot, and you do take a shot with film, do you also take one like a similar shot with digital as well? Or do you say it's like one or the other? Like, do you feel a need to do like a backup shot or anything like that while on set when the
Yeah,
stakes are high?
I mean, not really. Um, Maybe upon occasion. I think that really depends on the exact situation.
Yeah.
But for the most part, I really trust my tools and I really trust my knowledge of the tools and how they feel like a second like another limb or like another part of me, and
Hmm.
not to come from like constantly working with these tools and feeling really comfortable with them. So for the most part, you know, due to time constraints and just the attentiveness of how your subject is reacting with you, I don't feel the need to bring in that kind of backup option. Like if I know what I want to create, I know how I want the picture to look, I know I have the tool to do it, I feel really confident in just
Hmm.
approaching it that way.
Yeah. Do you use a light meter with film, or do your cameras have like internal light meters?
Some of them do, some of them don't.
Yeah.
I've been carrying a light meter on me occasionally.
Mm-hmm.
um, in some situations. But I think also, honestly, like metering off of a digital camera, if you have that on
Mm-hmm.
your body and on your person, can be really great too, just to like double check settings. But film is like, it's so forgiving. Particularly just make sure you overexpose. And then you have so much leadway with what you can get from your negatives.
Right.
So yeah, I think the biggest thing is just when in doubt, overexpose.
Yeah. Do you do it by like one stop usually or
Like 1 to 2
one
stops.
to two
Yeah.
stops? Okay.
Yeah. It just depends on the context and the situation, but
Mm-hmm.
usually 1 to 2 stops is sufficient for the outcome and the style that I want to achieve. Yeah.
Do you think that film is here to stay, or do you think it's like this trend right now for like a few years? What do you think?
I mean, definitely in the world of weddings, it's been a massive trend for the past few years, and I think that we're
Yeah.
already starting to see the shift out of um people necessarily wanting it or having the language to ask for that. But I've never really like had the desire to approach it um that way of being like, "Oh, hire me just because like I shoot film." It's like I want to work with people that connect with the work, and it
Mm.
doesn't matter the medium to them. They just connect with the work. And
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna pick whatever medium allows me to create work that I resound with and that feels really true to who I am and what I love and what I think is beautiful and interesting.
Yeah.
And so the medium of film, I've definitely incorporated into my wedding work on a very serious capacity in the past like 3, 4 years now. But prior to that, it was my only chosen medium for a long time for my personal work. So when I did portrait work or even like travel photography, things like that. Um, and so it's really fun that in recent years it's become something that clients have, or like, maybe someone that doesn't come from a world or a context of photography kind of like understands a little bit
Mm-hmm.
more now and they can be like, oh yeah, I like the way that looks. I understand it's film. I want to ask for that. I think that's fun because it does enable film photographers um, to shoot that. And also, film is an expensive medium. So
Yeah, it
accounting
is.
for that cost and communication with clients of like, hey, this is something that actually like costs more if you like this look.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, ultimately, I don't think it's ever gonna die. I just think that like anything in the world, we'll see like in specific markets, we'll see like trends shift and change, you know?
Yeah. What was it about weddings that kind of pulled you in, and would you consider yourself a wedding photographer?
I definitely do. I mean, that takes up like all of my time. So
Mm-hmm.
it's definitely my largest focus. But oh my goodness. I feel really grateful for this career and this opportunity. And I think what keeps me in it is the immense um the immense gift is to be able to walk into people's, yeah, most
Mm-hmm.
intimate moments and some of their most vulnerable moments, um, and be asked to document that and
Absolutely.
to
Yeah.
tell the story in a beautiful way.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, that's huge. It's just such a honor. And I also think that I love, um, how chaotic it can sometimes be, and how it can be actually kind of like high pressure or like high stakes in some capacities, depending on the complexity of the event. Um, but I love it.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know, I love when you're forced into, I guess, like going back to kind of operating within like limitations. I I find a lot of joy in being like, okay, we have a tight timeline or we have to
Mm-hmm.
accomplish this and this. Um, and it's up to me to like get really stunning photographs in that like limited time or space or setting or work around difficult lighting or things like that. I find a lot of joy and excitement in that part of it as well.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but yeah, and I think, yeah, first and foremost, it truly is just the people and that we get to watch them and observe them and um, capture that and then put it all together
Yeah.
and give to someone and be like, here you go. Here is like my heart and soul,
Yeah.
yeah, of like what I saw and observed. And I really hope I honored your story and your people that you cherish and love through these cameras and these lenses
Mm-hmm.
and these photographs. And like, here, now it's yours. And I hope it's like you feel that love
Yeah.
delivered in those photographs too. Um, yeah.
What is one of your most favorite moments to capture during a wedding?
Okay, I love actually like cocktail hour, because I really love just watching people and observing people.
Mm-hmm.
And usually that's a point in the day if I get the opportunity to like be present for it. Sometimes I can't be just because of timeline constraints. But I love just watching people and looking for how they interact and looking for I don't know, even like quirky little funny moments or like
Yeah.
interactions that kind of catch my eye. And it's a time where I don't have to direct anyone. I don't have to be like too forward facing. I can just kind of like slither through the crowd looking for interesting moments. And I love that kind of like photojournalistic
Yeah.
aspect of it. Yeah.
So, Nicole, you were named in the top 40 wedding photographers in the US, top 38 in the US for Wed Vibes, that's major, and top 30 wedding photographer in the world from the Wed. Let's talk about how you kind of like attracted that.
Mm-hmm.
And like it takes a lot of work and putting yourself out there. What's worked for you to kind of get that sort of affirmation and just
Mm-hmm.
acknowledgement?
Yeah, thank you. First off, I don't know like how I'm noticed by these editors or why they choose to put me on these lists. And sometimes I'm kind of like feel weird about it because I'm like, I don't know if I deserve to be on it, but I'm just learning to like let go of that part of my personality type and be like, okay, well that's really kind that they are thinking of me and want to include me on these sorts of things. Because it's very yeah, it's just very kind of them. Um, but I mean, I like to think I work really hard.
Yeah.
Um, but I
Clearly, like if you're
uh,
getting that sort of like notice and acknowledgement,
aw,
that's huge. Yeah, you got to
thank you.
celebrate those wins. That's major.
Thank you.
Mhm.
Yes, I'm learning to celebrate it, but thank you for your kind
Yeah.
words. I really do appreciate your encouragement in that. But yeah, I mean, I think that something that feels right for me is thinking a lot about like curation and sticking to your vision and what delights you as an artist. And um, I take a lot of pictures and I give my all for the people I get to work with. And I always want that to come through in the imagery that I make in the galleries that I create. But just being mindful of having that creative vision feel cohesive with what you choose to put out in the world.
Mhm.
And I guess for me, being aware that what you put out is what you will attract when it
Mm.
comes to, yeah, the imagery that you share.
So, when you were starting out or early in your career, did you kind of know who your ideal client was and then Say if you weren't shooting that at the time, you would create shoots that resembled what you wanted to shoot, and that attracted what you now have?
Um, I think in some capacity, yes. But I mean, I do struggle honestly a little bit with the term. This is nothing like you, but
Mhm.
just because I know this is like a very broadly used term, but like the concept of ideal client, because I do think I just want to work with people that are excited to work with me and that
Mhm.
um like are delighted by like this idea of creative collaboration. Um, but I think that like I myself want to be a interesting person, and I myself am interested in like fashion and the arts and like different things and traveling, and I allow myself to like explore those interests and incorporate them into my life and learn more about those things.
Mhm.
And I think that that just attracts people that feel the same and that are drawn
Mhm.
to those similar things. What you surround yourself with, that will be, those vibes will be like put out and people will be attracted to that.
Mhm. Do you find that being in New York, a lot of it is like who you know too?
Mm, yeah, I think that's a huge thing. I mean, I think relationships in any industry are so immensely important. And something that I felt like I had maybe a little bit of a hard time with when I was like in a smaller center was I did feel like I needed to put so much of myself online
Mhm.
um in order to like to grow. Um but I don't really feel comfortable having like a huge online presence or like again going back to like content creation like that. That's
Mhm.
kind of felt uncomfortable or unnatural to like my instincts and like how I
Mhm.
operate in the world. And I think it's been special being in a bigger center where I just maybe perhaps have more opportunity to like meet people one
Yeah.
on one that are on like similar paths or journeys or that are, you know, yeah, creating things in different capacities. And I think, yeah, those relationships just like who doesn't want to work with their friends or who doesn't want to like pitch someone's name if you already, you know, think they're a great person, you've gotten to know each other. So I think those things come naturally when you're, um, you know, in a bigger center, you
Right.
know.
Do you have any big goals that you're working towards that you'd be willing to share?
Um, I I think this happens to most people. When you move away, you gain new appreciation for where you're from,
Mhm.
and I really think it's so special. The small towns that we have in Saskatchewan,
Yeah.
and there's like a personal project that I really want to work on. That just dives into documenting these small towns more. Um, because a lot of me and Devo's beginnings of our relationship was just road tripping around, visiting vintage stores and bars in like small
Uh,
places, and like my in-laws and my mom is from really small towns in Saskatchewan, and I just want to explore that because
mhm.
I think that they are kind of disappearing as younger people have a desire to like move to bigger cities,
Mhm.
myself
The
included.
Yeah.
So yeah, I love to like continue to work on this project of documenting that. So hopefully next summer I can dive into it a bit more.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I'm curious about that. I'll be following along.
thanks.
I'm gonna try something.
Uh-huh.
This is the first episode where I'm gonna try this, but
Okay.
we're gonna do some like rapid fire questions.
Okay.
Here we go. Rapid fire questions with Nicole Plett. Red or white wine?
Orange?
Orange?
Yeah.
Nice. Like rosé? Or
No,
what
like
is the
orange wine.
orange wine? I've never
Go
had
to
that.
Okay, we'll go to Primal in Saskatoon and go ask for a glass of orange wine next
Okay.
time.
I'm going to do that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Coffee or tea?
Coffee.
A night home or a night out?
Right now I'm in my New York vibe, so probably a night out.
Staying up late or getting up early?
Getting up early.
If you could travel anywhere today, where would it be?
I've never been to, like, Southeast Asia, so I would
Mm,
love to go experience Thailand, especially, like, post, White Lotus coming out, last
yeah.
year or earlier this year, and watching that, I was like, "You know, I really should go experience Thailand. I think it would be a very cool place to visit and see."
Favorite New York neighborhood?
Ooh, probably Lower East Side. There's lots of really cool, like, boutiques there, lots of interesting, like, restaurants and bars, and, it's always so activated with people, and people watching there is really fun too. There's so many people my age, whatever, young people hanging out and that are very expressive with their clothing and everything, and it's fun to watch
Love
and
it.
hang out there. Yeah.
Okay, now this one wasn't on my list, but favorite New York restaurant?
Ooh, there's this place called maybe there's so many. But okay, there's one called Rolo's, and if you've seen, The Bear, that TV show, have you
Yeah,
seen that TV show?
love it. Yeah.
It's, what's his name? Jeremy
Oh
Allen
yeah, the
somethings?
main character. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Mhm. This is, like, his favorite restaurant, and he's from that neighborhood, Ridgewood, in Queens, and I've been there a couple times now, and both times it was just very cozy and lovely, and the food was really good, so I'm just gonna say Rolo's. Yeah.
Rolos. Okay, write that one down. Dream location to shoot.
I would love to go shoot in Japan. That's always
Mm,
been a place that I really wanna go actually
mm-hmm.
shoot something
Yeah.
proper there, so, yeah.
One word to describe your style.
Oh my goodness. I wanna say ooh, can I have, like, 2 words? I don't
Yeah,
know, no.
I'm
Okay.
curious.
Well, I wanna say I think that I hope that there's a certain level of vulnerability that comes through in my work. So I wanna say that word. But I also think that there's, like, some amount of, like, contemplation, so, like, contemplative, I don't know.
Mm.
That's stressful question for me to
No,
answer.
it's good. I was gonna say timeless. I feel like your work is
Oh.
timeless. Yeah.
Oh, thank you.
Favorite piece of camera equipment?
Um, I think yes. Yeah, my favorite would be probably my Leica M6. It's just,
Mm,
I don't know. It's my go-to. It comes with me whenever we're traveling. It's just my special camera, and I really feel like because everything on it is manual,
yeah.
when you take a picture, really feel like you are creating the picture,
Oh, I love that.
and you have to be
Yeah.
very, like, intentional in how you go about it, and I like that thought process that's involved when I use it.
Okay.
Yeah.
One piece of advice you'd give your younger self.
Um, Probably take it easy. I don't know.
Yeah. Yeah. I love
Um,
that one. Even on yourself, right?
yeah, like, have some grace for yourself,
I love that.
probably.
That's a good answer. Most overused trend in photography. We talked about trends.
I think the overused trend is following the trends and using that
Mm,
as a business model. Sorry, maybe that's, like, my
another
that's my
good
hot
answer.
take.
No, I like that. I like that a lot.
Ah, yeah.
Okay, your go-to lens.
I like a wide lens, like, I like a 35.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Favorite book.
Um, it probably would be that book I talked about earlier,
Oh,
The
okay.
Creative Act. I think that probably is my favorite book right now.
Nice. Who inspires you creatively right now?
Oh, um, we saw a show. What gallery was it at? It was a really big blue chip gallery. Um, but the painter's name is Sasha Gordon.
Mm,
And she was painting these insane large scale self-portraits,
mm,
um, of herself in, like, really, like, vulnerable ways, and, the painting style that she used was very, like, realistic, but the coloring was really surreal, and I was just totally taken aback,
mm.
um, by these paintings and how she chose to express herself and share like her perspective of herself for everyone to look at.
Yeah.
Yeah, you should go like look at the paintings online. They're really beautiful. But
Yeah,
yeah,
I want to. I love that. And the last question, best advice you've ever received?
probably honestly something from Devo because he's very wise and I feel very
Mm,
grateful to be in a relationship with him.
yeah.
But oh man, honestly, I think this is so basic, but probably just for him encouraging me to like step away from like my phone and step away from the world of the internet and our screens that like are addicting and try to control us and be present with people and
Hmm.
in the moment. He's a beautiful example of living life that way to me. And I love always checking things and like being
Hmm.
evolved and attached to something else. And so yeah, just advice he's offered of like be present in the now and care for the now and be here in this moment um feels really like relevant to like
Hmm.
my creative process and the life I want to lead and like live. So yeah.
Thank you so much for taking the time
Aw.
to chat with me today. There was so much to talk to you about, and I'm just so grateful for to the opportunity to speak with you. Honestly,
Aw. Well, thanks so much for having me on, and being so
absolutely.
gracious with me and asking and preparing such lovely questions.
Thank you so much for tuning into this episode of Artist Date. If you enjoyed our conversation, be sure to subscribe and follow along on Instagram for behind-the-scenes content and updates at Artist Date Podcast and at Nicole Romanoff Photo. You can now watch full episodes on YouTube. Just search Artist Date Podcast and hit subscribe to follow along visually. New episodes drop every Tuesday. See you next time for another inspiring conversation.